Good morning, students. Dear students.
Yes, sir.
Morning.
Sir.
Today we are going to discuss new chapter, that is ecosystem. Previously we discussed about the fruits and seeds. And let us continue another chapter, right? Chapter number 7, that is ecosystem. So previously we discussed about the 6th chapter, that is the principles of ecology, right? And let us continue ecosystem. Actually, ecosystem, it's nothing but there is an integration between living organism to non-living organism. If you take a, now this is a biosphere. Oh, Earth is the largest biosphere, isn't it? Earth is the largest biosphere. If you see the Earth, right? It consists of mainly two things. One is a biotic factor and another one is a abiotic factor. Biotic and abiotic. Abiotic. Before that, biotic means a living organism. It is also known as a, simply I can say, it is also called as living organism. And abiotic means it is also known as a non-living organism. So there is an integration between living organism and a non-living organism, right? In an atmosphere. So that is called an ecosystem. The simply ecosystem, it is a system where you find there is an integration between living organism and a non-living organism. Both living and non-living which will put together, right? In an ecosystem, in a system that is called an ecosystem. So ecosystem, it is also known simply, it can be defined by Odom, another scientist. Before that, the term ecosystem, it was first introduced by Tansley. Tansley. Right, the year of 1935. Was a man to be coined such a word, ecosystem. Particularly, I can say A.G. Tansley. A.G. Tansley coined the term ecosystem. What is ecosystem? It is a system where you find the integration between living and non-living organism. So there is a functional unit. There is a structural and functional unit of living and the non-living organism of the environment. So that is called the ecosystem, right? According to A.J. Tansley, who defined as ecosystem, it is a system where you find there is an integration between living and the non-living of an environment. So that is called the ecosystem. Another scientist who came after Tansley in the year of 1935, namely Odom. Actually, Odom is one of the ecologists who defined as ecosystem is nothing but, according to Odom, who defined as ecosystem is nothing but it is a structural and functional unit. It is a structural and functional unit of ecology. It is a structural and functional unit of ecology. So that is called ecosystem. So there are two definitions are given by two different ecologists. The first ecologist, namely A.J. Tansley, according to him, ecosystem is a system where integration between living and non-living. That means there is a relationship between living and a non-living or biotic and abiotic components of an environment. That is called the ecosystem. Whereas, according to Wardham, who defined as ecosystem is nothing but it is a structural and functional unit of ecology. Now, what is ecology? Ecology is a branch of biological science that deals with an organism relation to the environment or the place where you see an organism which relates with its surrounding. That is called ecology, right? Now, this is a place where you find, right? I'd like to show you an illustration that you can understand, right? Now, this is an atmosphere where you see there is a small mountain, a small tree is there, small pond is there, right? Yes, student. Bacteria is there, and protozoan, algae, some insects, some trees, some termite mounds, some rats, etc. So there is an integration between living factor to non-living factor or biotic factor to abiotic factor. So there is a relationship that shows there is a flow of energy from one trophic level to another trophic level, from one organism to another organism. That's why I mentioned it is a structural and functional unit of ecology, right? So in the picture that you see, sunlight is there, and tree is there, pond is there, protozoa, algae, plankton, bacteria, so on. So there are many organisms in the atmosphere, in an environment. If you take, just imagine, this is an atmosphere where you find algae is found, protozoan also seen, bacteria is also present, and plankton also occupied in the pond. So among these various organisms, there is a structural and functional unit. So all these living organisms which will put together in living, right? That's why I said there is a system where integrations between living to non-living or biotic factor to abiotic factor. So this is the main components of ecosystem. Yes, student, did you understand what I taught you? Could you tell me what is ecosystem? Shortly, it is a structural and functional unit of ecology, right? Please repeat. Could you repeat, please?
Yes, sir. The structural and functional unit of ecology.
That is it, right? And one more I can say, it is a system of integration, relationship between living organism to non-living organism or biotic factor to abiotic factor, right? So that is also known as ecosystem. I repeat once again, ecosystem, it is a system that consists of both biotic or living organism and abiotic or non-living organism. So both biotic and abiotic which you put together in an environment that is called the ecosystem, right? So there are two definitions that I have discussed with you, right? One is the definition of Tansley, that is the integration between living and non-living organism. Whereas, and one more definition that I have given, that is a structural and functional unit of ecology. This was given by Wardham, right? So another scientist who may be used instead of ecosystem, there are many terms are used by ecologists instead of ecosystem. Dear student, please understand, this is an ecosystem, ecosystem. The term ecosystem may be used by different people and different terms. There are many people who used, right? So the first people who used, there are several names of it. The first word is, instead of ecosystem, bioconosis. The first word is a bioconosis instead of ecosystem. It may be used as a bioconosis. It was first given by Carl Mobius. It was given by Carl Mobius. Right? Another word instead of ecosystem. One of the ecologists who used bioconosis, instead he used another word, that is a microcosm. Microcosm. Actually, this microcosm, which was given by another scientist, namely false. Actually, false is one of the ecologists, right? One who has exported the branch of ecology is known as an ecologist. Actually, false is one of the scientists who used microcosm instead of ecosystem. So instead of ecosystem, another word used by Forbes, that is a microcosm. On third word that is used by Dakuch, namely geobioconosis. Dear student, please don't get confused. Some technical words are that I'm using instead of ecosystem, right? So far I have used three words: bioconosis, microcosm, and geobioconosis. It was used by another ecologist, namely Dakuch. And one more scientist, Morozov. Dakuch and Morozov. There are two ecologists who used, instead of ecosystem, they coined it geobioconosis, right? This is one of the word. The next word is used by another scientist, holocone. Holocone. Actually, holocone used by another scientist, Frederick's. Right? It was used by another ecologist, namely Frederick's. Right? Instead of ecology, instead of ecosystem, the Frederick's who coined holocone, that is a term. It is also ecosystem, another term of ecosystem. Then one more word used by another scientist, namely, right? Biosystem. Biosystem. Actually, biosystem, it is also another term of ecosystem. It was used by Teeny Man. Who is actually is an ecologist. Is an ecologist. These people, this person who used instead of ecosystem, namely biosystem. Another word is there which was used by Vernadsky, namely bio-inert body. Bio-inert body. Actually, this bio-inert body is one of the word which was used by Vernadsky. Actually, Bernard Sky is also an ecologist who used instead of ecosystem, namely bio-inert body. So this is a various word which have been used by different ecologists, right? I repeat it again. The first word is biocolosis. It was used by Carl Mobius, and the second word is microcosm, which was used by Forbes. And third word is as instead of ecosystem, namely biocolosis. That was given by another scientist, namely Dogocho and Moroso, right? And fourth one, holocone, this was given by Friedrich, right? And biosystem, this is also a word which was given by theory man. And last word, bio-inert body, that was also used by one of the scientists, namely Bernard Sky. So, dear student, here you can expect some question, right? Which of the following word used by Carl Mobius instead of ecosystem? That is a question. If it is asked, you got answer. Dear student, now did you understand various terms are there for using instead of ecosystem? Could you list out, please, any word? Dear students, do you understand what I mean? Students, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Could you mention any terms which you are using instead of ecosystem?
Bioconosis,
Bioconosis, very good.
microcosm,
Microcosm, very good.
biosystem,
Biosystem, very good. Good, keep it up. And could you mention the name of the scientist who used bioconosis instead of ecosystem?
Carl Mobius,
Mobius, very good. Then could you mention the people who used geobioconosis instead of ecosystem? There are two people. Or could you mention a biosystem? Who used biosystem instead of ecosystem? That is a green in color.
Teeny man,
Teeny man, very good one.
Yeah.
Right? Could you mention another people who used biosystem instead of biosystem? Bio-inert body. Who proposed it? Who coined bio-inert body? Is a word.
Bernard Sky,
Bernard Sky. So there are several terms out there to use bio ecosystem. Am I right? Definitely from the term you can expect some question, both NEET and board exam, right? So NEET and board exam, right? Which of the following word used by a teeny man instead of ecosystem? That is a question, right? Or which of the following word is used by Bernard Sky instead of ecosystem? So that is a question. If it is asked, we got the answer. Right? Boys, girls, from girls side, some people who answer. Boys, am I audible? Are you able to hear? Boys? Nobody's there. Will you mention another terms of ecosystem once again? From boys side, may I ask you particularly? Prasanna? Nobody's there. From E section, right? Let me ask from E section. Mugilan? Siddharth from E section? Yes, students? Okay, no problem at all, right? So this is a ecosystem, right? Actually, as I said, it is a system of integration between living and a non-living organism. That is called an ecosystem. Okay. Next, we pass on to structure of ecosystem. Actually, what we are going to see in the chapter, there are three topics. The first one is structure of ecosystem. And second one is functions of ecosystem. And third one is plant succession. So this is a topic, subtopics that we are going to see in the chapter. The first one is a structure of ecosystem, and next functions of ecosystem, and third one is a plant succession. What is plant succession? What is its types and what is its role? Right? We are going to discuss all those things. First of all, let me take structure of ecosystem. As I said, it is a relationship between living and a non-living organism. Actually, this biosphere that consists of components are the structure of ecosystem. Dear students, simply, if we take any ecosystem, ecosystem, it is of several types, right? Pond ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem. No, ecosystem can be classified into following types, right? Generally, as I said, it is made up of biotic components and abiotic components. What are biotic components? The biotic components are nothing but they are the living organisms, simply that consist of producer, consumer. The first one is a producer, second one is a consumer, third one is a decomposer. Now, what are producer? Producers nothing but an organism which involves in manufacturing of food material. That is called a producer. Dear student, please understand. Please follow me. What is producer? Producers are nothing but what are producer? All the green plants. Simply, all the green plants are considered to be as a producer. Now, producer, it may be herbaceous or shrubs or tree. Producer, it may be herb. Producer, it may be herb and shrubs or tree. It may be either herb or shrubs or tree, right? They are the producer. Simply, I can say an organism involves in manufacturing of food by the process of photosynthesis. That is called a producer. There is a producer, simply it is of either herbaceous or shrubs or tree. Now, these various autotrophs or a producer may involve in manufacturing of their own food material, right? They never depend, they never obtain their own food from other living sources, right? Such an organism is known as a producer. Okay, we're talking about consumer. Actually, consumer is nothing but an organism that takes food from other living sources or other organisms. That is called heterotrophs, or it is also known as heterotrophs. Some organisms which are unable to synthesize their own food material. Hence, it has to obtain from, it has to take its food from other living organisms. That is a heterotrophs. So, for example, some bacteria, right? This bacteria is the right example I can say for heterotrophs because they cannot synthesize their own food material, and the human being also. Some animals also. So human being and animal, both of them are unable to manufacture their own food material, but they can obtain their food from either from a plant or any other living organism. So that is called a heterotrophs. And third one is a decomposer. Actually, decomposer, this is one of the components of ecosystem, particularly you can say components of biotic components, right? Some bacteria and some fungus. Some bacteria and some fungi. So both of them are considered to be as a decomposer. Right. On the other hand, we have to discuss that is a abiotic component. Actually, abiotic components are nothing but simply the non-living factors. It is associated. It is made up of climatic factors, edaphic factors, topographic factors. So there are some factors are present, right, in the atmosphere. I'm talking about abiotic factor. Dear student, please follow me. It is very important area. Abiotic factor. Actually, abiotic factors are nothing but a non-living organism. Particularly, you can say there are several factors there. The first one is a climatic factor. The first category is a climatic factor. Shortly, I can say CF. CF indicates climatic factor. The climatic factors are several types. The first one is the light. And second one is water. And third one is the wind. And fourth one is fire. And next one is temperature. So these are all the climatic factors. These climatic factors also integrated with the living organism, right? So for example, a plant depends light. The plant takes water from the atmosphere. And wind is essential for dispersal of fruits and seed. And fire is also needed for eradication of some microbes which are found under tree or plants or living sources. And temperature is needed for all the biological activities. That's why this abiotic factor, which also plays a prominent role in ecosystem, right? One more factor I want to mention that is edaphic factors. Edaphic factor is nothing but this is a soil factor. It is a soil factor. Actually, soil is a source of nutrients, humus, minerals. So all the sources are present in the soil. That's why this edaphic factor also influences the growth and the metabolic activity of living sources. So it is also integrated with the living organism. Edaphic factor is nothing but soil factor, right? And one more factor, that is a topographic factors. I'm talking about abiotic factor. Third factor is topographic factor. Third category is topographic factor. Now this topographic factors, nothing but it is a superficial layer of the earth, right? So both the latitude and the altitude direction. Both the latitude and the altitude. So this vegetation is found latitudinal and the altitudinal direction of the mountain. That is a topographic factor. It also plays the integration with the living and the non-living factors, right, of an ecosystem. If you take any ecosystem, whether pond ecosystem or grassland ecosystem or a terrestrial ecosystem or a forest ecosystem, so ecosystem it is of several types, right? Generally, it is of two. They are aquatic ecosystem and the terrestrial. If you take aquatic, it can be classified for so many types. Pond ecosystem, right? Lake ecosystem. So like that, terrestrial it is of following: grassland, forest, tree. So many systems are, so many types are there, right? Okay. These are topographic factors are simply latitude and altitude. And one more factors, that is simply I can say organic and inorganic substances. It also plays a prominent role. So first of all, let me take organic material. Now, what are organic material? What are the things or considered to be as a food from the plant? The first one is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate. The carbohydrate which provides energy for the living organism, right? By means of glucose. The carbohydrate is a kind of food material that produces more amount of energy to all the living organism, to all the ecosystem, right? From pond ecosystem to ocean, right? And second is a protein. Second one is a protein. And third, food material is lipids. So these are all the organic substances which are also integrated with the living organism. It also plays an important role in the structure of ecosystem, right? We're talking about inorganic substances. Inorganic substances. What are inorganic substances? Some micro and macro elements. Some micro and macro elements. Macro as well as micro nutrients. What are micro to macro elements? Simply carbon dioxide, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphorus, etc. So these are all the inorganic substances, right? They also play an important role in ecosystem. Actually, the total amount of both right from topography, edaphic, and climatic factors, organic and inorganic, the total amount of these abiotic factor of an ecosystem is known as standing state. This is very interesting question. Dear student, please understand, right? It is also known as a standing state. Standing state. A standing state is nothing but the total amount of abiotic factor. The total fresh weight of abiotic factors are found in an ecosystem. That is called a standing state. It is also known as standing quality. It is also known as a standing quality. So this is very interesting area. Dear students, could you tell me? Standing state is also known as
Standing quality.
Standing quality.
Standing
standing quality. Standing quality is also known as
Standing state.
What is standing state? It is a total amount,
Total inorganic substances.
total amount of abiotic components in the
Present in any ecosystem
Ecosystem.
at a given time.
right. So the total fresh weight of either organic or inorganic simply in the ecosystem, that is called a standing state. Here you can expect some question. What is called a standing state? That is the question, right? If it is asked, you get right. What is called a standing state? Could you tell me? What do you understand about standing state?
Total amount of abiotic factor
Very good. That
in
includes
ecosystem.
so what we have discussed, right? Organic, inorganic, all those things are present in an ecosystem, right? That is a standing state. It is also known as standing quality, right? So next we pass on to, as we have discussed it, abiotic factor. The second category is biotic factors. Actually, the biotic factors, as I said, the biotic factors are nothing but they are simply all the plants, all the plants, all the animals, all the microbes, all the plants, animal, microbes, and the human being. Simply I can say human or man. So these are human being, both male and men. So man, plant, male and female, right? So both human being, right? So these are the biotic factor. Actually, the microorganisms, simply like a bacteria, fungi, right? Some bacteria, some virus, some protozoa. So the total fresh weight of these living source in an ecosystem is known as, simply I can say, standing crab. It is known as a simply standing crab. standing graph. So standing state is related to abiotic factor. There is a biotic factor, the total fresh weight of living sources, that is a standing graphs. The total list of plants, animals, microorganisms, and human, right? So this is a biotic factors, right? Okay, next we pass on to structure of ecosystem, right? Structure. This is a structure, simply as I said, it is a components of ecosystem. And next I'm going to talk about PAR, PAR, PAR. Or PAR is nothing but photosynthetically active radiation. PAR stands for, P stands for photosynthetically, right? Photo A stands for active. PAR stands for radiation. So P stands for photosynthetically, and A stands for active, and R stands for radiation, right? Photosynthetically active radiation. Now it is a process by which the amount of sunlight is utilized by the plant for the purpose of photosynthesis. That is called the PAR. The PAR is nothing but the plant which utilizes the amount of light for photosynthesis in order to synthesize or in order to manufacture its own food material. That is called the PAR. The PAR is nothing but photosynthetically active radiation. It is a process by which a plant or a producer or a green plant which uses the amount of light for synthesizing its starch, right? By the process of photosynthesis, that is called the PAR, right? Yes, student, what do you understand about PAR? PAR stands for
photosynthetically active radiation.
Very good, PAR, right? Very good. Actually, if you take 100% of light, dear student, this is very important data. Please follow me. It's sunlight. Now, this is once again, I'd like to draw the shape of the earth, right? I'd like to represent. Please understand. Now, this is a earth, right? Here, sun is a sun which emits light, the intensity of light which is emitted from the sun. Okay, the sun which emits, now this is the light, right? Almost 100% of sunlight, right? Almost 100% of light, 34% of light is reflected. 34, simply I can say on the data, 34% of light is reflected on reaching the earth, which are going to be reflected. I'm talking about 100% of sunlight, 34% is reflected on reaching the surface of earth, right? And remaining 56%, remaining 66%. Out of 66%, 10% of light is absorbed by, or it is called by, ozone layer. Now the green color indicates ozone layer. This is a diagram that you represents like a ozone. Actually, ozone which absorbs only 10% of sunlight. Please understand. Right? And remaining 64, right? Out of 134% is reflected and 10% of light is received by or filtrated by or absorbed by ozone layer, and remaining 56% of light is reached on Earth's surface, right? Remaining this 56% of light is reached on, this is the Earth, right? So among these 56% of light, right? Only, actually, what is the amount of light is received by Earth? Dear student, out of 56%. Very good. 56%. Actually, 56% is reached on Earth. Out of 56%, 2 to 10% of light is only utilized by green plants. Only 2 to 10% of light is absorbed by plants for photosynthesis. So just imagine, out of 100%, just 2 to 10% of sunlight is utilized by green plant in order to manufacture their own food material. So this very least amount, 2 to 10% of light is received by green plants and which are utilized for making or manufacturing their own food material, and that is to be supplied all the living organism in an ecosystem, right? Just imagine 2 to 10% of light. So now this is a topic to be expected in our examination. Which of the following percentage of light is received by green plant for photosynthesis? Could you tell me?
2 to 10%.
2 to 10%. So remaining 90% of light is not
2 to 10%.
Very good, very good. 2 to 10% is utilized by green plant for synthesizing their own food material. Remaining 90% of light is just wasted or not used by the green plant. So this is a small data. Sometimes you can expect. Okay, in sunlight, mostly, which of the following, if you take the sunlight, right, there are many rays, there are ultraviolet rays, that's right. UV rays, ultraviolet rays are maybe so and so. So among these rays, this is a blue, mostly blue color and red. The blue color and red color may absorb. There is a blue color and red color light are utilized by photosynthesis. Actually, these blue light and red light are used by green plant for photosynthesis. Particularly, I can say this intensity of light is a 400 to 700 nanometer. This is the most suitable wavelength of light for photosynthesis. I repeat once again. There are several ranges of there in sunlight, right? So among which 400 to 700 nanometer of wavelength. This is the most suitable wavelength for photosynthesis, right? Dear student, please understand. This is very important area, right? To concentrate. So this is a 400 to 700 nanometer of light is used for photosynthesis, right? So as I said, this is very important area. The fire can be detected by a photovoltaic electrometer, right? Power can be measured. As I said, power is nothing but photosynthetically active radiation. It may be expressed in terms of biomass. Actually, biomass is nothing but the fresh weight of an organism. That is a biomass, right? Fresh weight. The fresh weight of an that is a biomass, right? This power can be detected by an instrument that is called a photovoltaic detector, right? This photovoltaic photovoltaic detector. Which is used to measure the power. The power can be measured by photovoltaic detector, right? That is used to measure the amount of light is used by green band, right? Particularly, you can say for in daytime, for right in daytime, 0 to 3000 millimole. Whereas for in midday, or in middays, for is in midday. Actually, for is midday, 1000 to 3000 maximum light is used by green plants at the midday, right? 1000 to 3000 millimole, right? And in night time, power is always zero. In night time, power is always zero because there is no presence of light in night time. Hence, the value of power is only zero, right? So this is simply something about of power, right? What is power and what is the measurement of power and what is the range of power in daytime, in midday, in night time that we discussed, and which is the most suitable wavelength for photosynthesis, and what is the percentage of sunlight which is scattered or which is used by green plants or reflector, and so on, so right. So thank you for joining me, dear students. If there is any question, please ask, right? Any doubt? My dear students, if there is any clarification, any doubt?
No, sir.
Right. Thank you for joining, and take an assignment. What I'm going to give you as question for you. Please take it out, right?